Welcome. This video will very briefly review some button basics and introduce Articulate Storyline's Button States feature. Double-click on a slide to add content. Click on the Insert tab, then the Button tool, choose a button style, and then click anywhere on your slide to create a button. Press Shift-D to make duplicates of your button. To add text to your buttons, simply select each button and start typing. Click the Preview button in the upper right corner of your toolbar to test your slide. Notice how your buttons automatically react when you mouse over them. We will discuss how that happens next. Let's return to our slide by clicking on the red Close Preview button in the upper left corner of the screen. To access the Timeline, States, and Notes features, you can either click on that text in the lower left corner of your screen below your slide, or click on the triangle in the lower right corner. To access the states of any button, click on the States text and then select any of your buttons. You'll see the selected button on your slide change as you mouse over the 5 default states. Notice that if you change your button style, the button states change automatically. Unfortunately, it is not possible to modify all 5 states of the duplicate buttons at once. In this current version of Articulate Storyline, you'll need to create individual buttons from scratch in order to modify multiple buttons at once. Modifying your buttons by right-clicking on any button and scrolling down to Format Shape will also modify the 5 button states. In this example, we can modify all 5 button states of all 3 buttons simultaneously because these are individually created buttons and not duplicates. To edit one or more states of any button, click on the Edit States button, click on the state you wish to modify, and start modifying it. For this example, I'll modify the hover and visited states. When you're finished, click on the Done Editing States button to return to your slide. Let's preview these buttons to see how the button with modified states differs from the rest of the buttons. You can delete any state except the normal state by either clicking on the Delete State button above the 5 states or by using the Delete button on your keyboard. You can add a state by clicking on the New State or Duplicate State buttons and choosing which state you want to add from the drop-down menu. Finally, we can see an example of how to use the Duplicate State button to add a new state. The takeaway is it's better to duplicate your buttons after you've decided on a final version, or just create individual buttons from the beginning. Thank you for choosing Gamboodle. In our next video, we will focus on creating animated buttons.